Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends, and welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Come on in here, sit down, get yourself something hot or cold to drink. We're looking here today at Psalm 119, verse 32. Verse 32 ends the Daleth section, and this is the section of the way. We've talked about our ways versus God's ways. Verse 26, I have declared my ways. Verse 27, make me to understand the way of thy precepts. So we see the contrast there. Verse 29, remove from me the way of lying. Verse 30, I have chosen the way of truth. So God's ways is the way of truth. My ways, the way of lying. I'm asking him, remove from me the way of lying. It's confession. And I'm expecting that the way of truth will continue to grow in me. This is God's way of discipleship beginning here in, well, actually, I said 30 through 32, but actually we begin in 28. Well, actually, we begin in 26 with that first request, teach me thy statutes. You don't grow in Christ. You do not become stronger in the Lord unless you're in the Word, period. You must be studying. You must be a disciple. Discipleship means that you are searching the Scriptures, just like the Bereans. Search the Scriptures. Search the statutes. Search the precepts. Know, be taught. Let the Lord teach you. So many people become Christians and they immediately think that they've got it all figured out. If you're just new in Christ, I know the wonderful experience that is, and I know how refreshing and invigorating, the whole vibe of being alive in Christ is wonderful, but just remember that there's a lot yet to learn. There's a lot yet to do. And so we need to be taught, we need to understand, we need to confess our temptations and our failings, just like he does here in this wonderful section of the Psalter. And then we come to verses 30 through 31, and we get it. We understand the choosing of the way of truth, because God's way is the only true way. And so to do that, as I mentioned yesterday, the intentionality of laying the judgments before us and sticking unto them, that is that persistent nature of the Christian walk. So diligence and persistence is a part of God's way of discipleship. And then 32, I will run the way of the commandments when thou shalt enlarge my heart. So here we have growth in Christ. Verse 32 is interesting because we have this word run, the idea of the feet, the path, standing, running, all of those things. We've seen it over and over again in the Psalter. I won't repeat the lessons that I've taught about that, but it's very important. And here when you have him saying, I will run, well, if he's running in the way of the commandments, then that must mean that the way is well lit. It's clear before him. He understands where he's going. There are no obstacles in his path. It's flat, it's broad, it's a way that he can run in. So running in the way of the commandments means that all of those things that I just mentioned are not a concern. And of course they're not, because he's not running in his way. He's running in the way of the commandments. Therefore, all of those things are true. It's lit, it's clear, it's evident, it's broad, it's level, it's flat. He has the ability to run in them. And you do too, and I do too. This is the way of the discipleship. This is the way of Christ. So running in the commandments, that's what we're to be about. When thou shalt enlarge my heart. So here we have another request. Enlarge my heart. Make more room for the commandments, the testimonies, the judgments, the truth, the gracious law, thy word. Make room in my heart for all of that. And when you do, I'm going to run in it. All right, friends, join me again next week. We'll look at the next section, the hay section, in Psalm 119 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.